Did Suchomimus hunt terrestrial prey? Hey everyone, Mike here with Prehistoric Magazine. Now welcome back to another video. Now this is another one of those questions that does not have an easy answer. Depending on who you ask, you'll probably get a different response. That's why the comment section is so vital and so important. If you're watching this, I really hope you'll take a moment at the end of this video to chime in with your thoughts and opinions. Greatly appreciated. Now to the topic. Could Suchomimus hunt terrestrial prey? Now, we know that Suchomimus was a very large predatory dinosaur, upwards of maybe 6 tons in weight, about 36 feet long. I think the skull, the jaws would have been about 4 feet in length, very narrow, very crocodile-like. I've known of this animal since the late 90s. It's one of the main reasons why I got into dinosaurs, paleontology, reading about Paul Sereno and all his amazing discoveries in the Sahara Desert. He reminded me of a modern day Indiana Jones. It was just fascinating to grow up in the late 90s where we had the internet, but there was still that allure of what was going on out there. And I remember as a kid just envisioning what their dig was like. When I was going to bed, what were they doing in the middle of the Sahara Desert? Because I knew they were out there following their website, Paul Sereno's Project Exploration. Nonetheless, fascinating stuff. Really got me into paleontology, dinosaurs. And Suchomimus has been an animal that's been on my radar for years. Again, to the topic of the video, do we think that it hunted terrestrial prey? Now, again, we know it was suited for hunting fish, had giant claws, a giant thumb claw that was a foot long, a massive, robust claw for maybe swiping at fish. Who knows, possibly even being up on land and using its size to bully other kills and, potentially slashing at that dead carcass and feasting that way. But I guess my question for you all is, did it hunt terrestrial prey? Probably the easy answer would be juvenile prey, like let's say a juvenile Tyrannosaur. Probably. I mean, imagine a Suchomimus down at the river fishing. Imagine it's holding its own in the water. It's wading out into the shallows. It's waiting patiently, not making much noise. It's probably done very silently, just like Prehistoric Planet. And then imagine somewhere downriver or upriver or in the floodplain, we see a little juvenile Tyrannosaur that maybe has come into its territory. Who knows if it would have gone after that? Again, these are real animals, not monsters. And what do we know about real animals is that they will kill whatever is an opportunity to them. And the more dire the situation, the more risk they may take. If the fish are plentiful and they're making a living that way, then probably they're going to, subsist mainly on large fish of North Africa 110 million years ago. But let's say that things became a little scarce, population of fish was less than normal, they may have started to take a run at terrestrial prey. Now, a topic for another video would be the fact that, I thought about this with Spinosaurus, but you could also think about this topic with Suchomimus, that what happens when you have the juveniles of this species, which could potentially, we know juvenile T-Rex was probably a different animal than the robust adults. What about juvenile Suchomimuses? Were they hunting different prey? Maybe they were hunting more land-based prey. Again, we just don't know. We know that the jaws was probably well suited for fish. We know that Suchomimus, I believe, had longer legs than Spinosaurus. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it had longer legs. So it looks like it had some speed to it. Now, speed to it would imply that it may be taking down terrestrial prey. Now, think about the idea of speed. If you need some speed, then you're chasing things that also have speed. Maybe it was chasing juvenile Tyrannosaurs. I did ask around in preparation for this video, and the people that I keep in touch with on Twitter and other social sites seem to think that, occasionally a Suchomimus may have been able to go after and harass a full-grown Tyrannosaurus, which was a several ton animal, herbivore, in its North African environment. So that's really what I'm getting at to the topic of this video. Again, to me, it's extremely frustrating. That's why I appreciate you all so greatly. This comment section is turning into a great thing on this channel. I really hope we can keep it going. Love to hear from everybody on this topic. But, think about a full-grown Tyrannosaurus. Do we think that Suchomimus could take a go at that? I think it's not impossible. Do I think it was likely all the time? Probably not. It was probably unlikely. But when I say unlikely, I don't mean impossible. I don't think anything's impossible. And I think these animals may have taken a run at something else, even if it's big. Again, depending on the situation. There was a drought, there was a dry season. We know Suchomimus lived in an incredibly wet and lush area. Again, it just depends on if prey is abundant. If there is enough stuff to eat, it will take a run at something else. I think that's really the symbol of life. That when things are good, you'll probably hunt what you've always hunted, and when things become tougher and scarcer, you may go up onto land and take a run at something that's bigger. Taking a run at something that's bigger implies you could get injured, you could get killed. But again, it's got these massive thumb claws, not a small animal, 5 to 6 tons in weight. I think it could definitely bully other predators and take their kills away from it. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. I think that's very believable, the idea of scavenging. But really, I'm wondering, do we think Suchomimus hunted terrestrial prey? Love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments section down below, and appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video. Take care.